Welcome to TrueCoders. In the last video, we learned how to install Node.js and how to run a project using an HTTP server. Now, we are going to learn how to create web applications using basic routing in Express.js. In the previous video, we saw how to install Node.js. Its link can be included in the description. You need a basic understanding of JavaScript. Setting up the project. Create a new project directory. Open the project folder in Visual Studio Code. Create a new file, app.js. Open the terminal. Initialize a new Node.js project using npm init. Install Express.js using npm install express. A folder of Node modules has been created. The Express dependency has been added to the package.json file. Creating Express app. First, we need to import Express, and it should be done like this. Next, call the Express function. You can create a port number. Set up the server to listen on the specified port. We define a route using apt-get /. This route listens for GET requests at the route URL /. We will soon learn about basic routing, and then we can explain it. Now, you can run it using the node filename command. Node app.js. There is a problem here. Every province needs to be closed and rerun when making changes to the code. To address this issue, we can install a third-party dependency called Nodemon. In the package.json file, set the start script to Nodemon app.js. I've changed it to HTML. Now, when you save it, you will see the server rerun, and the changes will be applied when it's refreshed. Let's make a change and observe it working again. First, we will learn about basic routing in Express.js. Routing is a fundamental concept in web applications, and it plays a crucial role in how web applications handle and respond to incoming requests from clients, typically web browsers. The importance of routing in web applications can be understood by considering the following key points. URL mapping. Routing is the mechanism that maps incoming URLs, uniform resource locators, to specific functionalities or resources within your web application. It allows you to determine what action should be taken when a particular URL is accessed. Resource organization. Routing helps organize your web application's resources and content in a structured manner. By defining routes, you create a clear and logical structure for your application's URLs, making it easier for both developers and users to navigate and understand the application's functionality. Handling user requests. Routing enables your web application to respond to user interactions. When a user clicks a link, submits a form, or enters a URL in their browser, the routing system determines how the application should respond. This includes rendering specific views, retrieving data from a database, or executing other actions. Dynamic content. Web applications often serve dynamic content based on user input or specific conditions. Routing allows you to pass parameters and data through URLs, which can then be used to customize the content presented to the user. RESTful APIs. For web services and APIs, routing is essential. It enables the definition of routes for different HTTP methods, GET, POST, PUT, DELETE, and allows developers to create RESTful APIs that interact with clients, mobile apps, or other web services. Separation of concerns. Routing promotes the separation of concerns in your application architecture. It helps decouple the handling of HTTP requests, routing, from the actual business logic and presentation, controllers and views. This separation makes your codebase more maintainable and easier to scale. Error handling. Routing also includes the ability to handle errors gracefully. You can define routes for handling 404 errors, resource not found, or other types of errors, providing a better user experience and helping with debugging. Security. Routing can be used to implement security measures such as authentication and authorization. By defining routes that require certain permissions, you can control who can access specific parts of your application. SEO. Search engine optimization. Properly structured routes with meaningful URLs can have a positive impact on SEO. Search engines often consider the structure of URLs when indexing web pages. Descriptive and well-organized URLs can improve the discoverability of your content. User experience. Routing contributes to a better user experience by allowing users to navigate your application intuitively. Well-designed routes ensure that users can access the information they need quickly and efficiently. In summary, routing in web applications is essential for managing the flow of user requests, organizing resources, maintaining code structure, enhancing security, and providing a positive user experience. It's a foundational concept that underpins the functionality and usability of modern web applications and services. In this tutorial, we will cover the basics of routing using Express.js. A route, in the context of web development, refers to a predefined path or URL pattern in a web application that determines how the application should respond to incoming HTTP requests. Routes are an essential concept because they define the structure and behavior of a web application, allowing it to handle client requests and serve content dynamically. Here's a detailed explanation of what a route is and why it's essential. Definition of a route. A route consists of a specific URL path or pattern that clients, typically web browsers, can access. Routes are defined within the web application's server code, where developers specify what actions or responses should occur when a particular route is requested. Routes can be as simple as /home or /profile, or they can include dynamic parameters, such as /user/ID, where ID represents a variable part of the URL. Routing mechanism. When a client makes an HTTP request to a web application, the server's routing system examines the requested URL to determine which route it matches. Once a matching route is found, the corresponding code or logic associated with that route is executed. This code might involve retrieving data from a database, rendering a web page, processing form submissions, or performing other tasks required to fulfill the client's request. Organization and structure. Routes play a crucial role in organizing and structuring a web application. They define how different parts of the application are accessed by users. By using meaningful route names and patterns, developers can create a logical and intuitive navigation system that users can understand and follow easily. Dynamic content. Routes allow for the creation of dynamic web pages and content. Parameters within routes, example /user/ID, can be used to pass data to the server, enabling the application to customize responses based on user input or database information. This dynamic nature allows web applications to display user profiles, product details, search results, and much more, all from a single route template. RESTful APIs. In the context of building APIs, routes are crucial for defining endpoints that clients can use to interact with the application. RESTful APIs rely heavily on well-structured routes to perform CRUD, create, read, update, delete, operations on resources, making it possible to retrieve data, create new records, update existing ones, and delete data using HTTP methods. Error handling. Routes also include handling errors. Developers can define routes to handle specific error scenarios, such as 404, resource not found, errors, and provide appropriate responses or error pages. Security and authentication. Routes can be used to implement security measures, including authentication and authorization. Certain routes may require user login or specific permissions to access sensitive information or perform actions. In summary, routes are a fundamental building block of web applications. They provide a structured way to handle client requests, enable dynamic content generation, organize application functionality, and facilitate the creation of RESTful APIs. Routes define the paths users can navigate and interact with, making them an essential concept in web development. Now, let's review what we've done in our project. We define a route using apt-get, /, which listens for GET requests at the route URL, /. When a GET request is made to /, the callback function is executed. Inside the callback function, we use res.send to send the HTML response, hello, Express.js, back to the client. HTML is displayed when the code is run. We use get / here. When running with /about, the message cannot get /about is displayed. We can learn to use multiple routes without delay. You can also use res.send to send text, JSON, or other types of responses based on your application's requirements. Simply provide the appropriate content as an argument to res.send. Multiple routes. In Express.js, you can define multiple routes for different URL paths to handle various client requests. Each route can have its own route handler function to execute specific logic. We can create multiple routes in our Express application. We define routes for 3 different paths: // about, and /contact. Each route is defined using apt-get, which listens for HTTP GET requests on the specified path. For each route, a separate callback function is provided. These functions respond to client requests with different messages based on the accessed route. When a client accesses a specific path, // about, or /contact, the corresponding route handler function is executed, and the defined response is sent to the client. Now, when you run this Express application and access different paths in your web browser, you will see different responses based on the defined routes. Accessing HTTP // localhost 3000/ will display "Welcome to the homepage." Accessing HTTP // localhost 3000/ about will display "About us, learn more about our company." Accessing HTTP // localhost 3000/ contact will display "Contact, get in touch with us." Defining multiple routes for different paths allows you to create a structured and organized web application with distinct functionality for each route, making it easier to manage and maintain your code. Route parameters. Route parameters. Route parameters are a powerful feature in Express.js that allows you to capture and utilize variable values from the URL within your route handlers. They enable you to create dynamic routes, making it possible to handle various data or resource requests using a single route template. Route parameters are placeholders in a route URL pattern that start with a colon, followed by a parameter name. They act as variables that can capture values from the URL when a client makes a request. Route parameters are typically used to retrieve specific data or resources associated with the parameter value. For instance, in a user profile scenario, you can use ID to fetch the user's data with the specified ID. To access the value of the ID parameter captured from the URL, you can use reqparams.id. You can then use this value in your route handler to perform actions such as fetching user data from a database. You can assign a value to a variable called user ID. req represents the request object that contains information about the client's request. reqparams is an object that contains the route parameters, with the parameter names as keys. reqparams.id retrieves the value of the ID parameter from the reqparams object. Backticks should be used here. When a client makes a request to a URL that matches the root pattern, /user/1234, Express.js captures the value 1234 as the ID parameter, and you can access it using reqparams.id. This mechanism allows you to create dynamic routes that respond differently based on the values of root parameters, making your web application more versatile and capable of handling various scenarios. Multiple parameters. You can define routes with multiple parameters to capture multiple values from the URL. A category can be given as a parameter. As done earlier, the category value can be assigned to a variable here. It can be displayed inside res.send. In this case, a URL like /user/12345/children would capture children as the category parameter and 12345 as the ID parameter. Root parameters make your routes more flexible and dynamic. In summary, root parameters in Express.js allow you to create dynamic routes that capture variable values from the URL. They are a valuable feature for building web applications that need to handle a wide range of data or resource requests based on user input. In this tutorial, we've covered several key concepts related to Express.js and routing. Introduction. The tutorial starts with an introduction to Express.js and its role in creating web applications and basic routing. Setting up the project. Steps to set up a new Express.js project are outlined, including creating a project directory, initializing a Node.js project with npm, and installing the Express.js framework. Creating Express app. The process of creating an Express.js app is explained, which involves importing Express, initializing the app, defining a port number, and setting up the server to listen on that port. Basic routing. The concept of routing in Express.js is introduced, highlighting how routes map URLs to specific functionalities or resources in a web application. A basic route using apt-get / is defined, which listens for GET requests at the root URL / and responds with a message when accessed. Nodemon for automatic server restart. The need for Nodemon to automatically restart the server on code changes is explained. The script in the package.json file is updated to use Nodemon for server restart. Root parameters. Root parameters are introduced as a powerful feature in Express.js to capture and utilize variable values from the URL. An example route with a parameter ID is demonstrated, and the captured parameter value is accessed using reqparams.id. Multiple parameters. The concept of capturing multiple parameters from a URL is presented, allowing for more dynamic routes. An example route with multiple parameters, ID and category, is shown, with captured values accessible in the route handler. I encourage you to experiment with different routes in your own Express.js projects. By exploring and experimenting with routes, you'll gain valuable hands-on experience and deepen your understanding of Express.js. Remember that well-organized routes are the backbone of a well-structured and scalable web application. So, get creative, keep learning, and have fun building amazing web experiences with Express.js. Happy coding! Now, looking ahead, we've got some exciting content coming your way. Our next topic is middleware in Express.js, a fundamental concept that will take your web development skills to the next level. So, stay tuned for that. Also, make sure to check out our related videos on our channel to explore even more in the world of coding and development. Thank you for watching.